Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be peppery, can be salty, can be slippery, which I don't know why, can be dry, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Oh, we can be slippery while we
Yeah,
can be,
and dry. So you're
and
describing a vagina.
dry. And listen, velvety, like a kind of like warm honey textured velvet
hmm
sometimes is the
hmm
palette. What are we doing?
90 Day Fiance season 4, episode 4. No.
Nope.
Wow, Chris, you really set me up for failure and then made me do it when you should have done it because it's your time to do it. I hate you. Okay, let's do this again. She's not my friend, you guys. At this moment, she's fully set me up for failure, and I will never trust her again. So it is
I'm so tired.
Love is Blind, season 4, episode 4, Playing with Fire.
hmm I'll tell you who's playing with fire. Me, honey, just like trying to title things like, Friday nights. Friday night for some reason has become this great time for me to really just catch up with myself. And I love Friday nights for self-care. And so now this is not what I can really talk about now, but I'll tell you a lot of these contestants could do some Friday nights in and a little self-care and self-reflection. But let's start with Irina and Paul, because now they meet for the first time. Okay, so like kind of last moment of the last episode was like, well, okay, what's gonna happen? And they meet and they have their initial reaction to each other. And it is cringe fest, awkward. It is just, she's not into it. He's staring at her. She's like, um, he says before he meets, he's like, now even here I said Irina and Paul, and I just said it again.
Yeah, you don't want this person to be at all with this person, but it's this person. That is the person.
Oh no.
That is the person.
Am I upset? You know what?
So it's like
Am I in love with Paul? Am I in
these
love
two
with
are the
Paul?
people. You know what I'm saying? These two are the people. These two are the people.
It's
These two
Marshall,
are the
it's
people.
Jacqueline, it's Brett, it's Tiffany,
hmm
it's Paul, it's Micah. But
hmm
obviously, I really want it to be Paul and Chris, okay? Because I keep saying his name. So, okay. Zach says, who's this person who looks like one of the Property Brothers? I mean, especially in this picture. I mean, it's like he's so crazy looking. Okay, so he goes, she doesn't know anything about me, how tall I am, what color skin I have. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
she
bet she can
knows.
tell. I bet
Yeah.
she can tell.
What are you talking about?
And then, yeah, when they meet, she does not like the way he looks, and he's just like staring, not blinking. She cannot help herself but say, "You have the blankest staring eyes." And then he just is like, and then she's like, "You look like something out of a cartoon." And then he doesn't stop staring at her. And she's like, "You aren't blinking. It's creepy." And he has to hear all these things and just smile on TV. I mean, like, he just must be in a trance with what she looks like, because she looks like a cartoon character too. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, she has a certain look to her too, like, and it's a shocking look, I'm sure. So maybe he's just reactive. Some people like fight or flight, like, I don't know what his is. He like was like his body left his soul. Like, at sometimes he's staring at her like he is trying to like eye fuck her, So like that part was interesting. You know what it was? It was like he had in his mind built up the fact that they had so much chemistry, way more like sexual chemistry than like Bliss, Baker of Cupcakes, had. And so I think that in Zach's mind, that he was going to meet Irina and that she was just going to be like, hi. And then they're going to like just boink like rabbits, like little Easter bunnies for the rest of the time or whatever. But she gave off immediate energy of like donut, touch me. Do not touch me. Duncan, do not touch me. You know what I'm saying? And so he, like she wants to bring him to a little sit down area and she doesn't really want to like stand and he's like whispering in her ear, "Do you want a kiss?" And she's like, "No, just hugs. We're just friends. No, just absolutely do not put those lips near me." Wow, what did you think about this?
She's a fucking bitch. Like, the truth is that you spent all this time in this pod with this person, convincing them that they should be with you over somebody who they liked more and you got upset about. And then when you meet him, you get the ick. You need to push through because this is the same person you met in the pod. And if the truth is that then the love is not blind because he doesn't look that bad. He's not ugly by far. He's not ugly. They don't put ugly people on this show. He also is a criminal defense lawyer. He makes money. Like, what's wrong with you? This is the 25-year-old's like, oh, I don't like him. Like, if like it's like with the whole setup of love, what Love at the Altar or whatever, Married at First Sight. It's like you have to give it a chance. But it's because she's like, oh, he gives me the ick, but this person doesn't give you the ick. They look exactly the same to me. Not exactly, but like if someone told me that they were cousins, I was like, okay. If someone said that they were brothers, I would be like, okay. Like they're from the same fucking gene pool. This is the same gene pool. I mean, like maybe the hair. What one has an like a oval head, and the other one has a square face. But like, you can't tell me that you think this person is substantially better looking than this. I mean, I won't believe it. I won't believe it. I won't believe it. Like she's.
I think that Paul is more attractive to me than Zach, but I think that Zach's career is ideally more attractive than Paul's, except that I like maybe Paul's background that seems more stable than Zach's. But then again, both people seem like they picked the absolute worst options amongst the women that they were offered, which makes me feel like they are the worst options. You said this, you were like, she made him pick against someone that he liked better. And I want to say, well, no, if he really liked Bliss, then what could have Rena could have done? She didn't say like, unless editing floor can bring to me producers where she was like, "Hey, now just so you know, Zach, if you pick me over Bliss, I will give you like the slobbiest, blobbiest, blah, 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 all night long. Like if you pick me because I want to be on TV. Like if you show me that tape of her saying that, then I'll be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I think that she was just like, I want to be on the show like everyone else. If he wants to pick me, he's gonna pick me. And when I met him, he was gross. And I kind of am here for it because he should have picked Bliss, but he didn't. So like I like the fact that he gets this karma.
Yeah, but he picked Bliss over something stupid. He picked Bliss because he is worried about her family not accepting him, which is such a dumb thing. I know that happens, but honestly, if you are ever in dating somebody, the same thing I think about Kwame/Alex. If you are ever dating somebody and you find out that their family doesn't like you because your mother was a stripper, but you came out to be a lawyer, like what's wrong with those people? Like, do we still believe in like some kind of weird pedigree? There are people who have millions of dollars whose kids turned out to be like nothing nobodies who can't lift a finger. But then you have someone whose mother like had to do what she fucking had to do to make money. And this guy worked really hard and became a criminal defense lawyer. So if anybody's family is judging your lineage, fuck them. So like, go ahead.
I have two things to say to that. A, either it didn't happen and they hated him for a whole different reason, but he doesn't want to say that on national television because he was an asshole or he was like an egomaniacal narcissist that they hated him for their daughter, one. Or he dated someone's parents that came over on the Mayflower or from English royalty. Yeah, that's just like the only thing I can say is like, or maybe like a Indian family from a higher caste society, like some, like, but it's definitely not anyone who's just like regular American folk in suburban or cities or, like any normal middle class or upper middle class person.
Yeah, because like Bliss is like a biracial woman from Alaska who refers to herself as a fisherwoman. We don't even know what her real career is until like the last episode we see her in. And when she's like, "Oh yeah, I know, I said I was a fisherwoman, but I'm actually like a fucking whatever." She like is some kind of professional. I can't remember what it was, but it definitely wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's Inuit, like maybe she's half black and
Mhm.
like native. I'm not sure, but like this was the choice and you chose wrong. Anyways, you chose Irina
Oh, yeah.
because you were like, she's poor from Russia. That is aligned with me. I'm poor from the States. I don't know.
Mhm,
Fucking
mhm.
stupid. And so then he gets there and he is being abused by her from moment one. Um so then so then we go to Mexico. So we've got our
Mhm.
four couples. We have got Marshall and Jacquelina. We've got Paul and Micah. We've got Tiffany and Brett. We've also got Chelsea and Kwame. And we've got Zach. If you just stay where you are, you'll be fine. We've got Zach and Irina. Those are so five couples. Those are our couples. And yeah, so what happens is that they have like a day, like 24 hours with just the couples. So Chelsea wants to make sure that she has this conversation with Kwame about his choice to go with Micah first and then her. She wants to make sure that he is dedicated to her and that, everything's going to be cool once Kwame sees Micah. Kwame's like, yeah, I'll be fine. It'll be cool. Chelsea, though, has outfits and I'm here for it. She talks about her Calvin Klein outfit, like the underwear and situation. I'm here for that. She is, to me, classy in the fact that she doesn't do the fake eyelashes. She doesn't do that much to her face. She gives us you a little bit. I wish she wouldn't give me so much eyeshadow without a liner. Like I would rather just have a liner and no eyeshadow than eyeshadow with no liner.
Mm,
But
mhm.
her accessories are right. I mean, she was wearing a full beige outfit, but she had the heels. I mean, she bought 21 pairs of shoes, so I'm here for her.
Yes, I wanna say, like, little crossover is that she was wearing this, like, beige outfit in the very beginning, and she had on you know how, like, Sleepy Chris from 90 Day Fiancé Toe, she was wearing that outfit last
Crochet.
time where she was wearing, like, a white lace crochet little, like, it does nothing for you, it's like a little outer layer, it looks like something that, like, for me, I owned because I fancied a time in which I might go to Coachella, which happened 1 year, but you know, God bless, I didn't even know if I brought it or whatever, it didn't make any pictures. Okay. She's wearing that, and I was like, "Oh." Anyway, so then little vignettes of the couples getting to know each other. She and Kwame already have just like a lot of sexual chem. They just feel like she's always just like, just like, just feel like they're just like always sort of like about to like jump on each other. She has kind of like a kind of, I don't know how to say, like kind of like aggressive sexual vibe, like,
And I'm
anyways,
here
I would
for
just say,
it. I'm here for it because I feel like we spend a lot of time telling women that they should be demure and behave a certain way. And like the truth is that women are just as horny and just want to get down and boogie down the way men do. And I like it. I feel like she takes the bulls by the horn to get what she wants and I love it. I feel like she's a strong lady and I love a strong lady. Then we've got Jackie and Marshall. I feel like Jackie is eating literally every single scene that she's with Marshall. She's eating while talking and she talks about how they're gonna have sex before they get to the altar. She's like, duh, why would you buy a car without test driving it? And I'm like, you're absolutely correct. um I love it 100%. She says that she wouldn't have normally chosen Marshall because he's not tatted, and that to me was red flag number one.
yeah, she says that Marshall is different from other men that she dated, that he, holds himself to a certain degree, that he's stylish and somewhat, like, what's I forgot, classy. I don't know if she wants the word classy, but I think she means, like, classy and different than guys that she usually goes with. And so, when we have kind of like a young Jackie, just kind of like, oh my God, Jackie, just like we're friends. But I guess what she feels like she want she's like burping and stuff like that. And she feels a little young, and she's going to be experiencing, like, a lot of emotions in this episode. So, I think that she's still kind of going through, which I almost feel like she's still going through puberty, but God bless. So, Yeah,
Puberty.
so, like, I also wondered why a little bit, like, oh, you didn't talk about, like, where you guys are sexually and intimately and how you would deal with that on the show and all the times you were in the pods. That's why when that conversation happened where she was like, "What? No." And he was like, "I'm just asking." I was like, "What the fuck do you talk about the whole time in the pods?" I feel like he'd be like, "Yeah, like, how do you feel about when you get to Mexico? Like, are you
Well, they don't know they're getting to Mexico, so you literally have to have that kind of conversation with like all the guys you're talking to. So smash or pass. Like, you're like, you want to fuck first or no?
Well, I feel like I mean, this is season 4, so they know that after the pods, they go and have, like, this phase, you know?
No, yeah.
Almost like I almost feel like I guess and so because of that, it makes me feel like the fantasy suites in Bachelorland, where you kind of know maybe this thing might happen and you might have to deal with it. Like, and how would you deal with it? And so I don't know, because Bachelor doesn't allow you hours upon hours to have the conversations that this one does. You're just like, what are you doing the whole time? Well, you just like laying there kicking off your shoes. So Zach and I think
Mean?
finally said his name right. Irina and I are having like this, dinner. It's almost like outside. They're eating. I found this part interesting. The waiter comes and is like, "Are you done eating?" And he's not. And she takes his plate away. And Irina at every moment, like, has these undercutting negs. Like, there goes Zach, has to eat everything on his plate. She just has such disdain for him, and and she's gonna be like called upon it, which is so interesting. But like, there's so many instances of that. He presses her. He's like, "What kind of character do I look like? You said I look like a character." She's like, "I don't know, like one of those fictional ones." And then she's like, "Do I look like anyone?" He's like, "Megan Fox." And well, what does she do?
She gets really mad. She like smirks and then flips him off. And I'm
Yeah.
like, he just like, I mean, the truth is he lied, but like you don't look like Megan Fox at all. But he's trying to give you a compliment. That's like somebody saying that I look like Naomi Campbell. I mean, that is a lie, but she is another black woman.
Yes, but I think what okay, I love you so much. It's true. But I think what honestly it is, and she's gonna bring it up later, and I didn't think about it until she said it, which is this. You really have to understand this person deals with deep-seated insecurity. So much so that when this man says that to her, she was like, he must be fucking with me on television. I don't look like that. I think that that is the voice in her head because of whatever she is. Like, she's obviously talked a little bit about the acne scars, like acne and the scars that she deals with or whatever now. So, and yeah, just talked about this, like some of that devastation that you have or whatever. And I think that one of the reasons why is because it's on your face, and so people stare at you, and so there is this overwhelming self-consciousness that happens when people are looking at you in your face of like, what are they thinking about me? Do they think I'm gross, disgusting, whatever, like there, and I know that because like I never had really bad acne where I have like scarring, but I know what it's like to have acne. I did have acne before in my life where I know what it's like where I'm like, I don't even want to put makeup on it because I don't feel like it's going to be enough or whatever. And I'm so sorry for those that have to deal with it on an extreme basis. And so yeah, I think for her, when he says that, her that is like her like defense mechanism because she thinks that he's fucking with her. But anyway, so another vignette is that Brett gets Tiffany like a bathing suit, and she's like so happy, and it's like this one piece wad that like, ah, God, I mean, it looked that he went to like Ross and bought
It's just like
a bathing. It was
it
was
was
just
a it was a
what?
mom it was a mom bathing suit. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not a mom, but like this is like a woman who's had like body, like a woman who's like trying to hide the poop, the belly. It's something that I would wear if I were like in the throes of my insecurities. It wasn't cute at all. It was like floral, and it was like I thought it was gonna say something interesting. It didn't. Honestly, at this time, Brett and Tiffany are boring compared to the
I
other
know.
couples. They're so boring. Like, who cares? I'm happy they found each other. They love each other. It's great. I'm happy for them. They're in the late 30s. He designed shoes. He worked for Kohan. Happy for him. Um,
Wait, do you think Tiffany liked the bathing suit, or do you think I just want to know? Do you think that Tiffany liked the bathing suit?
I think that she liked it because he got it for her. I would like it too. If the guy I was dating got me a bathing suit, I would love it.
Like, so
But
what if it was uglier than that?
I would still be like, I would love the fact that he purchased me something, that he thought of me and got a thing. If it was ugly, I would laugh and talk to him about how ugly it is. I would put it on and model it and be like, "Boy, sir, why do you want to cut my ass off like this? Why do you want to hide my like do I look sexy in this? Here, do I you want to fuck me in this outfit?" Like, I mean, I could imagine it. Like, if the last person I dated were to buy me like some kind of article of clothing, I would put it on and then dissect it
Okay.
and make him laugh while
Shame
I
him. Roast it. Roast it.
I would roast the outfit. I would definitely tell him that I loved it and thank you for buying me and buy me more stuff. Yes, continue. However, this is ugly.
Okay, yeah. So then another little vignette is Paul and Micah having their nighttime routine. She like uses a wet wipe to take off all her makeup. I'm just like fascinated because she can't, like she has those eyelash extensions. So I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And like, how are you gonna get like you can't, I don't know. So she just uses that one wipe. It was so interesting. I was like, I cannot use just a wipe to go to bed. Like I need to splash my face over and over again with the water that wells into my open palms. You know what I'm saying? I need to get water everywhere, all over my sink. I need to be dripping down at the end. I need to like stain white cloths and only for me to feel truly clean every night.
Yeah, I mean, I do it in the shower, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, yeah, they were like, "Oh my god, we're doing our routine together." Like, "Oh my god, this is so like whatever. We're in the bathroom together." Like, I wonder if they like passed gas in front of each other and we're like, "Oh my god, look, we farted."
Mm. So I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna. I don't know. But then yeah, like Zach is trying to get Irina to like loosen up, and he's so confused again because he really thought that he was going to pick a girl that was going to be DTF, that like given him every sign that she was DTF for him all the whole time, and he just like he can't believe that now he has Irina who like is basically like put that Ralphie right there and do not touch Ralphie. And so then like he like kisses Irina on the forehead, and even that is like disgusting to her where she's like forehead kiss. Like she cannot even just can't okay. Not only can she not tolerate him touching her, she cannot even go without negging him every morsel, everything he says to her, and every movement towards her. It is just like that's just how negative it is for her.
She can't be civil. Now, here's the truth. Chris, if you be Irina? Could you see a scenario in which you have spent so much time talking to somebody and you had even at some point like low key tried to convince them to be with you, and then you met them and you were so disgusted?
Okay, can I see that happening? Let me
Yeah.
think. I think that I don't want to ever manipulate someone to pick me. I'm more like Bliss. So I think that this is why I'm Bliss. I'm the person that's like, okay, if you don't pick me, you don't pick me. That's fine. It actually tells me more about you that you're not for me. I'm only too happy for, like the person that I'm supposed to be with is going to pick me in such a way, and I'm going to know it, and it's I'm not going to fight. Look at me. I'm not going to fight. Oh my God. No, no, no. I don't need to be in a relationship that bad.
I
So
see.
I guess it's just so different.
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario in which I would behave that way. Like they would have to be doing some kind of Love is Blind where all the men look like Quasimodo for me to like be that way. I would go, "Oh, this person got chosen to be on a reality show. They're obviously handsome." Like maybe I don't completely find them that way, but I don't need the person to be like beautiful in the face. That being said, like I've only ever dated men that I think are beautiful in the face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the yeah. I date men that I find beautiful and or handsome in the face with beautiful or handsome eyes and or like something about the eyes and our energy that like does something to me.
Maybe
But
they just
let's
need to have a
oh,
gold chain and be like melanated.
melanated.
Mhm.
Sorry, calling it back. So, then Paul like lets things us know that Micah really isn't like the type that he's usually with. Like his type is granola women, witchy women, honey. They're like casting spells. They're getting potions. They're like running to the store. They're like charging their crystals. And they dress differently because their activities are different. And they probably don't have like long blonde extensions that are like different
No.
lengths than her hair, where like her hair ends and then like 7 inches later hair happens. It's just like
Yeah.
you probably not that. Probably you probably are not used to like spider lashes on
Yep.
women's eyes every night.
It's like
Like you probably
kombucha. They make their own kombucha. They make their
oh
own
yeah.
salve. They like
Do you
have herbs
compare to see
hanging in
her
there.
lashes? Like what the fuck is happening with these?
He's like, oh, she's so different. She's like a Havasu girl. I really like that.
Uh, oh, that's like one of their biggest reads. That's a huge read. Well, I was like, I know. It's crazy. Well, I was like, I know. Okay, so yeah, like Jackson Marshall and suddenly bad. Okay, so yeah, Jacqueline just loses her mind. Okay, it's like something about that she's afraid that she's gonna go back to her old life, and when she first says that, I'm like, what's your old life like? Running around with drug dealers and
Yeah.
gangsters,
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
she's just like, I just have so many responsibilities, and like, this isn't real, and like, I just have so much going on, and she just like cries, and then she like comes out and she's like, thank you so much, and then she's just crying, crying, crying. She's just like can't stop. I mean, it definitely looks like someone's having a mental breakdown. Now, I'm gonna tell you this because I'm nothing if not a true professional.
She's a
What am
doctor.
I?
She's a rapper. She's a doctor. She's a rapper. She's a scientist. She's a consummate professional. She is Chris Farah. And for those of you guys who are watching this on Patreon, know that it is 1:33 a.m. in the morning, and I am 40 years old. So she is tired, and I'm trying to keep it together.
We're almost done. Okay, so this is from today. Jackie Bonds from Love is Blind explains her emotional moment in Mexico. She said her breakdown had nothing to do with fiance Marcel Glaze and everything to do with her family back home. Love is Blind star Jackie Bonds is opening up about one of the most intense moments shown so far in season 4. In the first few episodes, Jackie falls in love with Marshall before he eventually proposes to her in the pause. The two seem to be having fun in Mexico, constantly joking with each other, but halfway through the episode 4, Jackie is captured having what appears to be an emotional breakdown in their hotel room. She sobs as her fiance tries to comfort her. Eventually, Jackie locks herself in the bathroom as Marshall assures her, I know this is what fucking happens. Okay, God bless. Although Jackie mentions during the scene that she is worrying about her family obligations back home, the Netflix series does not provide more context about why she was upset. In her interview with Entertainment Weekly, published on March 24th, Jackie revealed she was concerned about her father's health during their vacation in Mexico. My father, he's sick. She told the publication he has cancer, so I have to take care of him when I go home every weekend. I make sure that my parents are good. The bill is paid. And my dad can't work no more. She continued, I have a lot of family stuff that I tend to. Family always comes first. And also my brother being released from prison, it's like I have another person to take care of. The 27-year-old certified dental assistant explained that she initially separated herself from her fiance because she did not know if he could fully support her. My life is not for someone who can't be up to par and supporting me, and just making sure that you understand my life and knowing that it's always going to be a part of me. That was an emotional moment for me because I didn't feel like at the moment Marshall was up to par and ready for all the reality that I had back home. Okay, well.
They're doing Love is Blind Minneapolis. And like somebody
Go.
in my book club was
Go.
like,
Go.
yeah, no, I gotta tell
Go.
her.
Go.
I got I gotta tell her to give it to me. I'm 40, so they're not gonna pick me, but like I wanna apply. See what happens. I want to apply
I
and then go on it and then like give you guys the tea, but I don't want to get picked. You know what I'm saying?
wish you could lie about your age because you definitely could lie about your age.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
Okay. So listen, like, Zach can't get over how different Irina is in the pods versus the outside. And like he just like, really gives it to her in this bed where he like this is the best he's gonna ever look with the like bed lamp illuminating him from behind, and he's like messy curly hair, and he's looking at her, and she's like in bed, and Ralph is in between. He's like, just feels like you like this power dynamic, and she just is like, yeah, like she gets defensive, but then like acquiesces. But he's just like, I just feel like you made a decision right away that like you weren't into it. And so you're like not into it. And she's just like, no, that's it. Then I would have like left. But it's like, because you also won't be in the
Yeah, this
show.
whole time we were wondering whether or not Tiffany's hair was her hair, and we being me and like some other black girls, and then we would discover that it is her hair because she gets it wet like full blown and then it curls up. So we're
It's
really happy for
gorgeous.
her at this moment in her life. So then we go to the scene that sets it all. We go to them all inside of the pool. And they all meeting together. So first they meet each other and everybody's like, oh, it's you. Oh my God, it's you. It's you. Oh my God, you're so hot. Like, oh my God, look at this person. But Micah comes over to Kwame and Kwame comes over to Micah and they're just like, yeah, I still got your back, bro. Like anything you ever need, like I'm still here for you. Like, don't get it twisted. We did have such a connection. I'm sorry that it didn't work out. And in fact, why didn't it work out? Like, I feel like you should have picked me. And Kwame's like, yeah, like, I'm into, I really like you. And I feel like I would be with you in any circumstances under the earth if you were like encapsulated inside of like a space,
Mm,
a cave.
wait,
And
can I say it? Can I say it? Because it's not what he said. It is Wild. Please let me say it because you used the word right just then. And the whole joke is that does
okay,
not
I'm
use the word
sorry.
right.
I'm
Okay, it's just
sorry.
all right. So Micah says in a soundbite, I'm sorry, Kwame says in a soundbite, Micah could have been the strangest looking being on earth, and would still have been encapsulated by her presence, is what he says. Not it's captivated. He wants to say captivated, okay? Encapsulated is what you like can do to like dried placenta if you want to like make sure that you don't like go through like a lot of like postpartum depression after you give birth. Um
Yeah, it's like when you put
so
something inside of something like glass or plastic to keep it like fresh.
So yeah, so then listen, when they all meet, when Irina comes with Zach, she is wearing a booby tubby outfit in the banana whammiest way. It is like a piece of fabric like Christina Aguilera did, and like it's like under boob, but
Under
like
titty. Yeah.
under titty in such a way. Irina's outfit. Now here's the thing.
Paul can't help it. Paul's like,
She she doesn't not okay. It's not that she looks bad. I'm gonna tell you, she actually looks sexy. She looks
mhm.
sexy in the outfit. But what I'm saying is it's too sexy. And I think not an elegant, classy choice for my taste. Now, here's the thing. I have a podcast who can give my opinion. What?
Yeah, I love an underboob. I feel like I love the fact that these young women these days get to walk around a space with the bottoms of their titties out and not worried that someone is going to judge them. Paul can't keep his eyes off of her.
People are gonna definitely judge them.
I mean, you like
And many other people.
no, I mean it's a thing. Like they do it now. This is what the girl
Oh, of
is. It's
course.
so you just
Yeah.
think that there is just like a bunch of just like I mean, at some point, I have to. This is my thought. My thought pattern
Okay.
is my initial thought was it was like fucking slutty. But then I was like, you know what? If everyone is doing it, then this is now the tide is turned. And this is where women are with their bodies. And I just have to like respect that. This isn't the 90s where only Coco was doing it. This is now the Gen Xers, they're going with they're having under boobs showing, they're not shaving their armpits. Like it's just the evolution of women and we are watching it and judging it only because in our day we didn't do that. Just the same way in our day we didn't like I mean like it's the same thing people folks think about tattoos. Like unfortunately, I'm just not somebody that will ever go and get a million tattoos. Like, it's just not my style. But so many people do it that at this point, I just feel like I'm being weird and old fashioned by saying, like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be somewhere with my husband with my under titty out, but I'm not going to judge the girls that do.
I maybe things are feel different. I mean, growing out your armpit hair isn't to me the same as under titty or a lot of under titty, which is the hypersexualization of females and or like the wanting or projecting of an Instagram like image, which is I think like also something that's sort of happening there, I guess, or whatever. And that part to me, you know, I think just because the masses are doing it or feel like the masses are doing it doesn't mean that those who are, like maybe calling for something a little different viewpoint, it's maybe good to just sort of be like, not everyone has to do that.
Yes, and I
Um,
agree with you. You're right. Not everyone has to do it. And that's where I'm at. I'm not in the place of thinking like sluts, where I was in the place of thinking sluts, and that's just where I'm at. But I do think you're right. And I think you got up a pointed point where it's like maybe it is just the Instagram world. And maybe the Instagram girls who are having the under titty out aren't necessarily walking the streets with the under titty. And that's something that I have a hard time reconciling. I'm the same way when it comes to people who online or in text messages or in WhatsApps tell you that they love you, they love you, they love you. Then when you go to their country, they act like all the I love yous that they told you for the last 3 years isn't real. It's the same thing for me. It's the same.
Osama, you
Yes.
told me. No, that's
It's the
hilarious.
same thing for me. So like to me, like you bring it into a very like relief focus where I'm like, oh, you're right. People do think that online is a separate reality than the reality they live in and every day. And I think it's the same.
So yeah, okay, going back, and I get we can talk about that more later. This is swimsuit day,
No,
honey.
I don't
At the
want to talk about that
pool,
anymore. It's fine.
people are having fun. This is let loose. People are showing off them bodies,
Let
honey, them
loose,
têtes. They are
let loose,
drinking.
shaking
They're
off
like
the Sunday
they're
blues.
shooting things or whatever. And Kwame is, like swimming, or like Kwame's talking to Brett, and then Chelsea's like, "Hey, Kwame, like, will you get me some food?" And Kwame doesn't go and do it. Okay, if he had, then he wouldn't have been privy to the next part, which where Micah and Irina are like, Kwame or someone, can you get a shot or whatever? And so that doesn't happen. And then they like are kind of flirting with Brett and Mike, I'm sorry, and Kwame over the shots. Like, do these shots or whatever. And it's like, kind of playful, and the girls do it, and then like they get more, and Micah's like, okay, and this shot is a fail for a failed proposal, meaning from Kwame to her. And he immediately just is like, "Oh, absolutely not. Mm-mm." And this part, I'm give him credit for, even though whatever happens the next part, he does immediately. He's not a p word about the fact that he is immediately hurt and offended, and he doesn't like pussyfoot around it. He's not like, he doesn't stay around and it was like blinking at her and like seeing things out. He's like, absolutely fucking not. He bees out. Micah knows that he's upset. She's like, oh, Kwame, no, or whatever. But then she goes back to Arena and they're floating around on the floaty being like, Kwame mean, he's mean. That absolutely happens. And then he comes back out and Micah's like, goes back, and then they start talking and she's like, Kwame, no, I would never do anything vicious or in any sort of mean way. I would never hurt you. Like that connection that we had, it was totally real. Like I would never, you wouldn't think, like she like turns it around, like you wouldn't think that about me. Like I'm sorry, and her like lips or whatever. And he just like, and I mean this, he it melts him. Like
Mm-hmm.
he allows it all of it. He is just like, oh my God, I knew there you were there, my girl, my God. Like even that she said that and humiliated him. It's actually mildly masterclassy to watch. I don't know how she does it, and I don't know why, other than the fact that that power isn't for me for like the fact that I'm supposed to be preserved for only good people. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Because by
um
the end of this conversation, Chelsea and all the girls have now watched that he is like flirting with her and playing with her hand, and people are like, Chelsea, low key, that's your dude, and Chelsea's like, I know, but he's been talking for the past 20 minutes, and I'm eating this fajita meat by myself. I really don't know what to do about that. You know, Chelsea's like, I don't know if I should go get him, but like it is disrespectful. And then they're also like, also, where the fuck is Paul? Where's Paul? Where is Paul? Meanwhile, like Irina's like, hey Paul, hey Paul. You know, like Marina loves her. Rena's like low key flirting with Paul, likes Paul. I don't know where the fuck Paul is. Paul doesn't care like about Micah in this moment. I mean, never really cares about Mike in the first place. But anyway, God bless. He's just kind of like, I guess I'm here. I don't know. Wah, do you want? Wah's happened to half asleep, so that's why I took over the last part of
I'm
this
trying to
episode.
say,
Wah.
I'm trying to say it. So here's what I recall happening. I
Okay.
recall happening that Brett and Kwame are talking, correct, because these are bros. And I love to see it that the black men tend to group together and chitty chat. Where Marshall was, I don't know. But we
Oh
rarely
yeah.
ever see we rarely ever see Marshall, Brett, and Kwame not together. And then we see a lot of Paul and Zach together. So it's a little segregated. Okay. Next thing,
Oh
next
yeah.
thing is that Brett and Kwame are talking. And then Chelsea's like, hey babe, when you get a chance, can you get me some guac? Just when you get a chance, not a big deal. And he goes, yeah. And immediately it feels like, due to editing, Irina and what's her fuck are like, Kwame, can you get us shots? And Kwame's like, no, you can get yourself shots. And then they're like, we don't like Kwame. He's salty. Kwame's
Oh
so
yeah.
salty. He's so
Yes.
salty. And then at some points,
Sorry. Yes.
so at some point, shots are gotten. Okay. And so
Okay.
then it is Brett, Irina, and Micah and Kwame, and they're about to do shots. They're like, cheers to this experiment. Cheers to all this shit. And Micah, out of her own flubby lips, says, cheers to a failed proposal. And he's like, what the fuck? And he immediately puts the shot down. He's like, I'm not cheersing to that. And the truth is that Kwame never fucking proposed to her. He said he wanted to, and she was like, no. Like, but she said cheers to a failed proposal because she's an asshole. And she knew it would make Irina giggle. And she wanted to make her friend giggle. And when she realized that she made Kwame feel like shit, that's when she went on a campaign to like defend herself and say, I would never do that. I would never do that to make you feel bad. And he's like, but you did do it, and it did make me feel bad. And I don't understand why you thought that any other outcome would happen. Did you think I would just
Yeah.
lay around and take it? And so he does defend himself for a little bit, but then all of a sudden she's like, her like vocal fry just like gets to him, and he is just drawn in. He's, you know that I would never do that. Like I'm here for you, and I seriously love you and like want the best for you, and I'm like seriously here for you for anything, and I would never do something. Then, but you did, bitch. So,
Well, is
anyway,
there like YouTube videos of how to hypnotize dumb dudes using vocal fry and or pitch or tone?
there must
Is there a
be.
master class that like
But I mean, like, I just don't.
Bronwyn can teach?
Oh my god, Bronwyn.
Or I guess I mean, I don't want to say one of the Kardashians. Like, I don't know what is like. It's always, it feels like someone who has like a vulnerable quality. It's like, I don't know what it's like. It does feel in the basic Marilyn Monroe way that there is just this thing, helplessness. I didn't mean to. I just would never. I love you. I'm soft. No. Big eyes, I guess. Was dead. Okay. I've
No,
killed
I'm
Wa.
here.
Okay.
I'm
So I'm just
here.
gonna tell you,
I'm
no, she's
here. I'm
dead.
here.
Okay.
Here.
Once Wa like couldn't recall that encapsulated thing, I was like, I just gotta take this over. I'm gonna take this one home for her. So let me tell you,
Here. I'm here.
when Micah gets this drunk and like talking to him, I absolutely hate it. I feel bad for Chelsea. Of course, we all do. You know, like you know, this is setting itself up to like, this is a very good episode. You know, like, well, the episode 3 was blah. Episode 4 is great. You know, obviously the 5th is going to happen, and then we get the next 5. So they are gearing up for a mid-season showcase showdown. Oh, that brings us to the end. Wad, do you have anything more to say about this episode?
No, it heats up next episode, and I can't wait to watch episode 6 and 7 and 8 and 10.
She's gonna skip the other one. She's gonna skip 9.
Yeah,
so
I'm
she's not gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna wake up tomorrow morning and just push, boom, 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 Netflix, and it's just gonna pop up, and I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch Love After Lockup. I'm gonna go live. Like, it's gonna be a whole situation tomorrow.
Wow. What a fabulous Saturday. Okay, my loves, if you want more of us, you absolutely can get more of us. How? Let me tell you. We have social media channels like Instagram at DocuSweeties exists on Instagram. Please go and follow and like all our posts.
All
We
our
also
social
have a
media
Twitter.
channels.
Yeah, on all of them. At Twitter exists. I'm sorry. At DocuSweeties1 on Twitter exists, and also, as long as TikTok exists, we're sometimes on that at DocuSweeties. And besides that, you really could also give us 5 stars. All these things, following, liking, giving us 5 stars in our podcast, or giving us a review, are the free ways in which you can support us and make sure that we
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
encapsulate us.
Do it.
Also, though, you can see our faces. Well, how do you do it?
You do that on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. It's like 2 Starbucks coffees a month, and you get the visuals of what you are listening to right now, plus audio once I get that together,
Mm.
as well as I am going to be watching old seasons of 90 Day Fiance and going live eventually to talk about those things with y'all. So, I mean, Uber, so much content coming your way, and it helps your girls out. It gives us the financing that we require and need to bring you the quality content, you know? So we love you guys.
Yes.
We thank
Thank you.
you for supporting us. Bye.
Bye.